This week has had just about everything at Goodwood. It's been glorious. It's been not so glorious for the punters with the weather. It's had pretty much anything you can think of. Jason, Frankie, we have been here. We're going to look forward to the final day of the Stewards Cup day. Good luck trying to find the winner of that. 150 to 1 winners of Group 1s. The rains come in biblical proportions. That kind of tilts the favour back to the punters when the favourites start going in on the soft ground. And my head's fried, Jason. Where do we sit at the minute?
Yeah, it's been, barring Aiden turning up and having one of his second strings beat the red hot pot, if you like, Illinois early on, and his young 3-year-old stayer jumps to the head of the market for the Betfred St Ledger, and then you got Whirl, of course, who just seems to keep on winning. He's amazing once he gets those fillies. We always talk about the Colts, and we know that to run that huge operation, it's probably I know you can't get them in quarters or halves, but they need about a stallion and a half to make the wheels continuously go round over there at Coolmore with the setup that they've got. But the fillies are a prize money making machine. Once he gets them going like that, they just are relentless.
They certainly are. He's had a few, and obviously, like you say, he's got some Colts in the lineup as well. It's a money making machine. The wheels keep turning. But Goodwood this week, Frankie, has been chaotic.
It has, yeah. It was a funny old feeling when Karat just kept on going on course. I was speaking to plenty of race goers before, and the question was to them, will Field of Gold win, yes or no? It wasn't even questioning the rest of the field. It was just, are you with him or are you not? And it was mostly unanimous. And then what happened. It was a funny race, wasn't it? You had two races, really, and yeah, they kind of left him too much. They gave him too much on the front end, and he kept on plugging away and couldn't go and catch him. So fair play. A Group 1 for Jubmont, a Group 1 for Richard Kingscote. And what do you do with Karat now? Funny, isn't it?
Well, he's in a handicap.
Yeah.
He is in a handicap at York. He's absolutely chucked in. And on a serious note, Jason, just to mention as well, an incredible incident on Thursday with 5 of those jockeys coming down from the north who never made it to Goodwood, but thankfully they're unscathed after an issue on their plane.
Yeah, yeah. Like one of the engines went massive bang or whatever, and something to do with the propeller and where it ended up. And from what I gather, it wasn't pretty at all. And the pilot was pretty heroic on getting that piece of machinery down onto the ground with everybody intact. So remarkable, well done to them. And thankfully, they're all in one piece.
Exactly, yeah, that's the main point. Right, this week, record SPs, record rainfall in a short space of time. Let's hope for a bit of normality and sanity with the final day at Goodwood. We start at 120 with the glorious stakes. Not sure what the ground's going to be like because it's going to be warm and no more rain forecast for the final day. So it may start to dry, maybe sticky, gluey. That could be a pointer, Jason.
Yeah, that'll be the way, just a bit holding, a little bit tiring, making it real hard work. You're not going to want horses who want top of the ground. They're going to struggle, undoubtedly. And we got some old favourites in here, haven't we? Look, Candleford, he's got a funny, interesting profile, isn't he? Remember, he got thrown out at Ascot because he carried the wrong weight on one occasion. And then when we saw him win at the Royal Meeting, he looked like he'd been shot out of a catapult, didn't he? He won that easily. So he's a low mileage 7-year-old, if you like. Maidan's my cliff horse. He won't be winning, will he? You watch him go and run a big race around here now, I've said that. But Arabian Crown, one-time Derby contender, he has been crying out for a bit of dig in the ground. He's 2 from 2 under softish conditions, and I think that this is just what he wants, basically. Not a million miles away on ratings. I think that Arabian Crown can get back on track.
Yeah, and he tends to act on all types of ground, so that could be key as well. So Arabian Crown for Jason. Frankie, what are you with?
I think Alazi is an obvious place to start with winning this race, and he's run on soft. He ran well in the Group 2. But I'm going to give another chance to Mount Atlas. I backed him at the Royal Meeting, and he ended up winning next time out in the handicap. He also put in a reasonable performance, I thought, at Chester. And in front of him that day was Al Kareem, Illinois, Absurd. They're smart horses. And I think what's been catching him out when he's been getting beaten is he's just a touch one-paced. And We don't know exactly what the ground's going to be like, but as we predict, maybe sort of testing Sticky. He's a big, strong horse. He does lack a little bit of pace, but he does keep on plodding. And maybe with the ground blunting a few others' speed, he might actually be able to go and put in a good staying performance. So the tough Mount Atlas. For the informed David Probert as well, who's riding a fair few winners before he heads off to Hong Kong.
Yeah, of course, he won the Betfred Handicap at Ascot last week as well on Fear Not. He has been knocking him off the mark this week already as well at Goodwood. Right, the 155 is a summer handicap, won last year by French Master, who obviously running Group 1 this week. Wide open, they've also got the Wathan team, French Duke in here, already a glorious Goodwood winner last year, Jason.
Yeah, he's interesting for the variant stable, isn't he? Just had the one spin this time, a little bit disappointing. You've got horses like Subsequent, who was quietly fancied. He ran behind Al Kareem, but he ran as if he badly needed that outing up at York so he could step forward. You've got Stress Free, who's trying the trip for the first time on the level, has gone this far jumping and managed to get a win on the board. And you've got Artistic Star, who's only managed to get chinned by Alhumate. That was at Newbury last time. What has happened to Wonder Legend? Now, I know that he pulled up last time, but he was shooting for the absolute top level, wasn't he? Previously was a really good winner up at Newcastle, wide margin winner, and that's probably why they threw him in at the deep end. Underground he couldn't have liked. Again, that is key. I'll go back to his win at Doncaster. I know that's a long time ago, but this surely is a different sort of test for him today. Softish ground. We know that he stays well. And he's very, very lightly raced on the turf. He's just 1 from 4 on the turf so far, and it came with cut.
Interesting then. So Wonder Legend, interesting one for Nick Anderson as well. Gala Shields in here. Jamie Spencer on board, second start for the odd. He's got some soft ground form, but it's a wide open handicap, and it might take still a bit of getting, Frankie.
Yeah, I think it will. And you can follow the French Duke or the French Master form lines at the top of the market because Aeronautic finished behind French Master at Royal Ascot, and Dancing in Paris, if you go back before that, finished behind French Master here before he went on to win the Copper Horse at Ascot. And I'm going to take that form line with Dancing in Paris. He was probably waiting a little bit longer than he'd like when finishing behind French Master at Goodwood. And the question mark is, will he handle the ground? He's been predominantly raced on good to firm, which the amount of times he's raced suggests it's probably preference rather than chance. But he is a dual-purpose horse. He's probably got a bit of guts about him. Ian Williams in a fair spell of form, and provided he doesn't hate the ground, he has good course form here behind a subsequent Royal Ascot winner. So I think he's in with a good squeak, Dancing in Paris.
Okay, Dancing in Paris then for Frankie. We move on to a Group 2. It's the Lily Langtry for the fillies and mares. Again, this is really interesting. Got a couple of 3-year-olds down the bottom who get plenty of weight for age. And could that be key in this type of maybe holding ground, Jace?
Yeah, I think so. Again, when you go through these, a lot of them, the likes of Goody Two Shoes, who comes over for Joseph O'Brien, he had his first winner, didn't he, at the glorious Goodwood meeting earlier, Omni Man. I mean, she'd been going through the grades. If you look at her overall profile, 6 from 10, won her first Group 3 last time. It's interesting that Paddy Toomey puts Royal Entry in because she rattled home behind her, and we know that he doesn't run him unless he's got a good opportunity of winning, so he thinks he can turn that form around. Alonzi ran really well. We'll see that form tied in a little bit later with one of our races further towards the tail end of the card. She looked good at Pontefract. Took a while to get going, and she went storming through the grades last year. When Owen Burrows decides to run them and lose their handicap rating, if you like, I think we need to sit up and take notice, don't we? Because Wada was a very, very easy winner around here over 1.25 miles. I think that she'll stay. That's a big jump, isn't it? 0.5 mile up in trip, but she's got a wonderful pedigree. She's the one I might, Matt, if I'm lucky, and Fred's feeling generous, might just sneak into that sort of each way price as well, I think.
Yeah, interesting one. Our course form as well, as you say. So Owen Burrows there with a pick in the Lily Langtry, and Frankie's decided he's had enough. He's disappeared. So I'm not quite sure what's happening. Probably technical issues there. I'll tell you what, We'll get him back shortly on the Lily Langtry, but we'll crack on even with the Stewart Cup with Jason. We've got 28 runners here. Do you want a couple of darts, bearing in mind it could be absolutely chaos where they go? Will they go far side? Will they go near side? They tend to come near side. You certain where they're going to go?
Oh, yeah, of course. They are going to go stand side. Now, look, the middle will try and go, but we've got Get It in 27. We've got Apollo 1 in 26. Those are two absolute lid pingers. You've also got Run Boy Run. He loves to go towards the front end in 19. Oh, yeah, lickety split. It'll be stand side. And I don't think I need two darts in here, Matt. Going to need a little bit of luck more than anything. Jacajaro, you remember I put him up at the start of the week, and he finished off without really seeing any daylight over the minimum. He was up in well into triple digits when he was trained over in Ireland. It's interesting that he didn't get any sort of run. They wasn't given a hard time. He backs up here, of course, a bigger pot on offer. I'm sure they would have liked to have picked up the 38 that was on offer in his race earlier in the week, but he's dangerously well handicapped, drawn on the right part of the track. Why won't he go well? We haven't seen these colours yet as well go into the winners' enclosure at Goodwood, and we know that Jim and Fitri A love to have a winner at this meeting. So Robert Cowell, the Sprint King, Spencer, held up, fast late, 25 to 1, somewhere around that. Oh, we're liking it a lot, drawn on the right part of the track.
There we are. We'll get a pace to follow as well. Yeah, Jacajaro just blown the cobwebs off earlier on in the week, and Spencer booked as well. Right, so I think that's not tough. We've got 20 runners over 7 furlongs in the Whispering Angel handicap. Who could we be raising a glass to in this one?
Right, so you remember a good horse called Pelletry for James Owen. They were unlucky with old Wimbledon Hawkeye. He got absolutely chinned on the line, didn't he, at Goodwood? But Pelletry is a good horse. I'm a bit worried that he can be a bit of a handful, and possibly he's not looking that well weighted. How often, Matt, do we delve into the pedigrees and we keep looking for something that, you think has got in lightly? What happened? Mudbeer went into his first handicap off a mark of 89 up the hill at Sandown. He won, I think, really decisively. Had a decent horse back in second, good sort of yardstick. He has only been given a little nudge. He could just get the £2 penalty, possibly coming in here. But the assessor has underestimated him by some way. He's closely related to Nazif, who was a Group 1 performer. He's a half brother to Mostadaf, who was rated 128. Mostabshire 110. So for me, getting in here from a mark of 91, I think is absolutely ideal. Where's he drawn? Right down in stall number 1. That could prove a good starting point. Might be a little bit tricky as they come into the straight, but at least it's going to open up for him. So I think that Mudbeer, the more I look at the race, the more I think he's thrown in.
Interesting then, Mudbeer then for the Shadwell team, and Jim Crawley booked, of course, loves a winner at Goodwood. Frankie's with us. He was inside. He's now outside, clearly having technical issues. I tell you what.
Yeah, some connection problem. So I'm out in the bush.
So many jokes, so many places to go. I'm not going to go there. Not for the first time. Right, just quickly, we'll run through what you fancy for the Lily Langtry.
Yeah. Let's rewind. Where are we heading? Lily Langtry, WADA, just the 4 starts. Debut was on soft ground, and the listed race she ran in at Newmarket. Protest was in front, who obviously was a winner earlier in the week, and also Secret of Love, who wasn't a million miles behind Whirl. I think she then was beat fairly comfortably when stepping up in class, but a little bit of form line has tied in with Goodwood winners this week, and then was really impressive last time out at Goodwood itself. The question mark maybe being the ground, but yeah, just the 4 starts, highly progressive, was impressive enough last time out for me, and I think she would have a squeak. The Stewart's Cup, I mean, how many can you have? I've got a list of 4 in front of me, Matt. I think Hammer the Hammer we'll have an obvious chance, and is short enough in a race like this that can throw up prices. Adrasita or Adrastia, I think, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, ran a big race earlier in the week, and Hammer the Hammer finished second behind Adrastia. at the Royal Meeting. So I think there's an obvious form line there. And I probably would flag up Pura Sangue, who we'll see. I mean, definitely prefers it slightly softer. My worry is that he might just fade late on. I've always sort of described him as a 5.5 furlong horse. I don't really know where he sits between having the speed for 5 and being able to stick out 6. He actually went off favourite for this last year and was misbehaving in the stalls and blew his chances. But he's one of those sort of Andrew Balding handicappers that, aren't quite good enough to do it at group level, but they will win a handicap like this one day, and conditions might slightly be in his favour. And if you would give me 3 Twilight Calls, an inspired ride from Jamie Spencer, Matt, stranger things have happened at Goodwood this week.
Yeah, interesting. I love how you're kind of getting over the same kind of thought line. Jason obviously liked Wardar. You didn't hear that. Jason did like Wardar.
No.
And then obviously Jason went for Jacajara on the Feature Hay kind of line, like you going Puro Sangue. So you come in from the same angles here, maybe a different horse, but you come in from the same angle. Just quickly on the 345 as well. Frankie, what did you like in that one?
345, Montpellier, I think. I mean, just the 3 starts. The RPRs are going up each performance. Tom Marquand's booked, I think, a strong booking for James Ferg, and a jockey that rides Goodwood really well, and a horse that you don't know much about. Another nice Wharton Bassett colt that, I mean, anything by Wharton Bassett's winning at the moment, isn't it? So, I'm going with the sort of relatively unexposed progressive horse and a good jockey booking.
Okay, right, back to you, Jason. We'll head to HQ then for their 210. The first of those, just 5 go in a little nursery. Easy pickings after the Stewart Cup.
It's not the easiest race to get a handle on, is it? Yeah, Ruby's Angel has been punted off the boards on a couple of starts for Hugo Palmer and the team. They're in much better form now. Awafi, she ties in with her because she just got the better of her right on top of the line at Haydock last time. Saida Hardspun comes from Hughesies, who can't do anything wrong. And you got Milaf, who's probably the class. She's been in the toughest company so far. Yet, I quite like the angle in down the bottom. As Leet for Stuart Williams and Marco Gianni. Stuart Williams thought she'd win on her second start at Yarmouth, and it was a little bit messy because she got caught out of her ground, but she made no mistake whatsoever at Southall, who was a decent trainer back in the day, trained a St Ledger winner, ridden by none other than Philip Robinson. Of course, it was Mark Tompkins, wasn't it, who had some good horses, both jumping and flat. He bred Asleet and has her in training with Stuart Williams now. She's quite a big individual, that sort of good staying type who's going to improve as the season progresses. I think she might got it in okay on a mark of 76, could be lenient.
Okay, Asleet then, blasting the past there. Mark Tompkins, right, Frankie, have we got him? I think we might have lost Frankie again. Connection issues. I'll tell you what, Jason, we'll take you on to the listed race at Newmarket as well, please. Hopefully, the Dead 8 go to post, because I know you like an each way play.
Yeah, look, what a funny race, when you've got the filly Sue Life, who's top rated with a mark of 107, but she's ran 2 absolute clunkers so far, hasn't she? On her form over here, she'd been going through the grades. She won a Group 2 at the back end last year at Capinelli, but has shown nothing like that so far. I thought Carmenology, she's been picked up by Alonzi in a listed race. Prior to that, she ran up behind Candleford. All of this form we're going to get to see prior to her coming out. And I think Carmology, they'll ride her a bit quieter, Matt. That'll be key. She made a big move at Pontefract, took a length and a half out of the field, and then got picked up late on. Over this more galloping track July course, I think they can ride her for speed, sit in behind the pace and let her off. Carmology.
Prize goes back north, then Colbert coming down to Newmarket to raid there. Right, he tried to get in, didn't he? He tried to get in. It just sums up this week. A bit of a dodgy connection with Frank. It just sums up the chaos that there's been this week. Right, I'm not sure if he's coming back. Sod him. Let's get your best bet. That's what we need most. We've looked at 7 races. If you join us on Betfred TV this week, you've given us a couple of nice types as well away from Goodwood. But what will be your best bet on the card on Saturday?
The more I look at the concluding 7 furlong handicap, the more I like Mud Beer. I like the way that he travelled into the race at Sandown. If you get an opportunity, watch it back. Jim Crowley was always looking over his left shoulder at the runners that were coming up the outside, and they got sort of a bit of a run on him, but he had so much pony to get out and get going and get the job done. I love the pedigree. He's a half brother to Mostadaf, who was rated 128. Now, I know all the old favourites, like Frankie's in a bush again, and Elvis had a brother and he couldn't sing a tune, but Mudbeer could be thrown in off a mark of 91.
There we are then. Mudbeer, the best bet then in that 3:45. He's trying to get back. What's he doing? It does sum up this week, doesn't it? It's been absolutely nuts. I suppose the weather's playing a part as well. All that thunder that we had around on Thursday. No, I think we'll leave it there.
Listen, you say about that, like Kingscote was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he? Taking nothing away from him. He's going to go off to Hong Kong. Sonic, who you mentioned, David Probert, he's off there as well. We've got 2 good riders disappearing.
We have, yeah. That's a very good point, David Probert and Richard Kingscote going off to Sonia Climbs over in Hong Kong. Right, Frankie, looks like you're back. Just quickly take us through the 2 Newmarket race. I know you tried to get in.
Chaos, yeah.
We binned you off. Quickly run through the Newmarket races, please.
The 2:10, I would be happy to wave the white flag if you'd have let me. I was scratching my head a bit, but I don't know if she's top weight or not. But Richard Sayada hard spun. Winner on the all-weather and on the turf, and just did enough at Ascot last time out. I know gives weight away to probably the nearest market rivals, but I'd say Sayada hard spun will be too good. And then I quite like Carmology in the 3:20 for Carl Burke and Sam James, bridesmaid on many occasions. Are you laughing because no one can hear me? Or...
Oh no, I'm with you. Carmology,
Brilliant.
I'm in.
This is great. I haven't heard anything you've said.
Behind the bush and gone for Carmology.
Fantastic. You look at who Carmology's finished behind. What is it? Scenic, Ambience, Amigo, Candleford. I think we'll race tomorrow, is it? Or Saturday. Nice horses on plenty of occasions, and this should be easier. So Carmology, I'm fairly sweet on.
Okay, yes. Jason liked Carmology. Jason liked Wardour. Those you didn't hear, you picked the same as him. So interesting. That is an interesting line. What would be your best bet?
Turning my Wi-Fi down, listening to what Jay said, popping back in and iterating it.
Whilst you're in the bush.
Fairly sweet on the pair of them, so I'm glad we agree. My best bet would probably, I haven't heard Jace's either, so maybe this is going to end in just the same result, but Wada would be my best bet of the weekend.
No, he has gone for that, but that's not his best bet. He's quite sweet on Mudbeer in the 3:45 at Goodwood. Right, we got there. We managed to do it. It has been a chaotic week. Goodwood, it's had sun, it's had rain, it's had favourites, it's had 150-1 Group 1 winners. Hopefully, we can all calm down. The next time you can join us, we'll be looking ahead to the Betfred Rosa Lancaster at Haydock and the Shergar Cup at Ascot week on Saturday. But hopefully, we can end the week with a few winners. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and you'll get notified whenever there's a new episode. And hopefully, it goes a little bit more plain sailing than this one has. Boys, thanks for everything you've done at Goodwood this week. Join us at the track, both for Betfred TV and our social channels. And wherever you are back in this weekend, the very best of luck.